Appears, that Prince Harry doesn't have a lot of sway in his marriage. Oh no. You see, when he and Meghan decided to depart over, first of all, to Canada for Megxit and the Freedom Flight, Harry genuinely felt that he was going to have a bigger picture and a say in his future. You see, he saw his two children having a sort of back and forth between wherever they were living in the United States and, of course, over here, back in the United Kingdom. Even he felt that they could actually be educated over here in the United Kingdom. But this is one situation, apparently, according to a very well-placed source, that Harry cannot shift his wife's Meghan's mind on. And it's increasingly creating, shall we say, a bit of division. And I'm being kind here. As ever, let me explain. Morning, lovely to see you today. Thank you so much for taking the time out. I'm so glad, by the way, so many of you enjoyed the BBC Bombs and News video. Incredible that when you look into the history. And as I say, when you go round old buildings, particularly when you've worked in them before, and you're a little bit older, you appreciate them more, don't you? Because you realise what's gone on before you, the people around you, that sort of thing. When you're young, you tend to think, right, really, As I said, I remember meeting Dusty Springfield years ago, and I was lucky enough to, meet her, have a chat with her and everything. And the entrepreneur, Peter Stringfellow, said, would you like a picture, Neil? And at the time, you're a bit embarrassed, aren't you? And said, oh, it's all right. Imagine turning down Dusty Springfield. But I was just shy, silly, stupid, and that's what happens when you're young, isn't it? But thank you. I loved all your comments. It was very kind of you. Back as ever to your royal story of the day. This is big breaking news, whichever way you look at it, because Harry, as I say, some might suggest not exactly the brightest bulb in the box. I'm not alluding to that myself, but, he would have believed certain things that were portrayed to him by his wife, Meghan Markle. This is because when she decided to depart over to Canada, it was a fresh start. There were rumours that we're going to go to Africa and redo that, start there. But then, of course, that terrible fire in Prince Archie's nursery must have put the carbuncle on that. But now Harry is literally waking up, quite frankly, as a very close chum told me, to the idea that really he's now ostracised living in the United States. As we know, he has problems with his visa, he has problems whether he can stay there, but Meghan has basically said this: she has no desire to return to the United Kingdom, England, whatever, full time. She doesn't see herself living here, and neither does she see that for her children. The reason being apparently that she feels that the security is rather lax, etc. Worse than that, I've been told that every time Harry broaches this indelicate subject and says, well, we really need to do that to make sure we're split between the families, apparently she bursts into tears and has something of a meltdown which can last for a considerable length of time. And this is from an excellent source. So you can imagine that Harry not wanting to have that a kerfuffle of trying to deal with somebody in tears simply because he's mentioned returning home. Here's the reason why Meghan seemingly doesn't want to return home. Others might suggest, of course, she's proving very unpopular, and this is the reason why she knows by returning alongside Harry, things could take a turn for the worst. Just to let you know, they are aware of the boos that happen, but of course they just put that down to a small pocket of people who perhaps don't agree with their personal agenda. But for Harry moving forward, this is a serious moment, and you can understand at times why he looks very forlorn. He's now realizing that actually his life is going to be based out into the United States, and any thoughts of him returning back with his family for 6 months here, 6 months there, well, it's not happening. And even more so, he realizes that if his wife's projects, particularly the latest endeavor, America Riviera Orchard, takes off, that will even evaporate further, and he will always be returning back alone, and sometimes, as many people have suggested, without children. An amazing place to find yourself in when it all started out so well. I'm sure you'll agree. Neil Sean in the very heart of Yorkshire.